Hey, it's Lindsay. Welcome to Gathering Lands. I just got back from a big horse show with Nessie, my wildie mare. I really wanted to make a story about her going to this show. It was 5 hours away. It was a huge trip. It was like over this huge mountain pass. She's a wildie mare. It's just like a great success story for Nessie and I thought it would be this amazing video to share. But as I looked through the footage and started thinking about the story is actually not about Nessie at all. It's actually about my gelding Leo and the journey that it took to have the two horses be able to successfully leave each other. This is kind of an aside, but I really got into gardening because of the horses. So I have a pumpkin patch. I'm going to have over 400 pumpkins planted this year. And pumpkins grow great in composted horse manure. So it was through the horses that we started our market garden. I remember the first time I saw Leo, it was at a clinic. He trailered solo. He was fine. He was ready to do his lesson. When he got off the trailer, he heard a friend of his. But as soon as he heard his friend, he just came apart. And I remember watching and thinking, man, that horse looks complicated. I would never want a horse like that. But a few years later, he was going really well under saddle. He looked like a lot of fun. So I was ready to take him on. I thought, surely I could put the time in and that just wouldn't be an issue. Well, I put the time in, and even when we were living at a big ranch, if I took one particular mare away in a herd of 10, 12 horses, it didn't matter. He would just fall apart. He would pace the fence line, call, whinny. He would be so upset. And he wasn't even living with that mare. She was in a separate pasture. So he just has this side to him where he can just get really attached, really upset. So it's dangerous. You kind of have to manage it appropriately. You have to be safe. You kind of have to just think about what's going to be best for your horses. And in doing that, I think I kind of bubble wrapped him a little bit. And it's not because I had to, but it was really the only option I had at the time. So I chipped away at his training, and he's quite well trained. He can do Liberty. He's a decent dressage horse. He's a very talented jumper. But for the last few years, it's just been him and Nessie on our little farm. Finally, I got to the point where I just didn't want Leo holding Nessie's training back anymore. So I had to think of a new solution for her and for him. So I knew I wanted to take Nessie to this big working equitation show. And we also had some land work coming up. So my plan was to take them off property to a barn. They've been to this barn before, they've lived at this barn before, but this time was going to be different. He finally started to become this old broke horse in every aspect of his life. It was so funny with him because he would be so broke and so calm 80% of the time. But if something was wrong in his herd, the switch would flick and he would just fall apart. I was seeing less and less of that. It was so rewarding to watch other people be able to ride him and keep him in consistent work. Things that used to make him scared, like being in the wash stall alone or being on a new end of the barn, those things wouldn't bother him at home with me. And at new locations, he would sort of revert a little bit. But as we kept pushing his training, he kept doing things, he kept seeing the routine, it was like all of those old fears were just slowly melting away. He was always such a great-minded horse, but I just never felt like I could fully trust him. What if something would happen? What if he would come apart? What would happen? I was just seeing less and less of that, and he started blossoming. More people were able to ride him, even little kids were enjoying him. It was so amazing to see that safe, broke horse that I always knew he could be was his reality now. So the show was great. Nessie was amazing. There were so many things that she'd never seen before, and she handled it like a pro. But it really wasn't a test about Nessie, it was a test for Leo. So as we packed up to come home after the show, I started to wonder, would Leo revert? Would he remember? Is he happier without me? As the trailer pulled into the barn, he didn't even really notice that we got there. He was just happily eating. I wanted to surprise him and see what he would do, so I walked Nessie over to his paddock so they could sniff noses and say hello. And sure enough, he totally remembered. He was very, very excited. And she went back to her paddock and he went back to his meal. And since then, she's been able to come and go. It's been an interesting transition watching Leo thrive. It's taken so much work for him to be comfortable with coming and going. The routine, the consistency, and the trust really clicked for him this time. The success for the story really isn't Nessie going to the show. It's that Leo finally trusts, that he can be left behind, taken care of, and happy. Not because he didn't need me anymore, but because we've spent years developing the trust and the bond that we have together, and that he was always home. Thank you so much for joining me on this story. I'd be so interested to know if you have a herd-bound horse, if you'd heard of behavior like this before. I know it can be really a lot. So please share your experiences. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hi, Oki.